What is up, everyone? How's it going? Game for Days back once again. And you already know what you're looking at here. You're looking at some Uncharted 4 multiplayer. This shit is awesome. This is one of the most addictive multiplayers I've played in a while. Let's just get right into my impressions, man, because this game is so fun. So, first of all, when this multiplayer was revealed, actually at Paris Games Week, in that initial trailer was shown off, and we saw things like mysticals and sidekicks and a bunch of other things like trip mines and radar, downed teammates, downed enemies. Myself and really everyone was totally skeptical. We're just looking at this like, what is all this crap, right? What is all this extra stuff that we never asked for, we never wanted? Because I actually do consider myself an Uncharted 2 purist. I played a lot of Uncharted 2 online, and then I thought Uncharted 3 was just pretty much trash. It was really just watered down, noob friendly, too many bullshit perks, and I lost interest because it was just really such a bullshit multiplayer. It wasn't fun. It wasn't really skill oriented. So I was an Uncharted 2 purist, but I have to say this multiplayer is super well balanced, and after having put in many hours into this beta, I welcome all of the new additions. Pretty much all of the new additions I am really happy about, really excited about, and they're just really fresh gameplay mechanics and concepts that make this multiplayer fun and balanced. So let's naturally start off by discussing the core gameplay. The core gameplay is dramatically improved from Uncharted 2 and 3. I'm talking, this is a generation ahead, as it should be. Uncharted 4 feels like a clear generation ahead of Uncharted 2 and 3 in terms of the core gameplay. From the moment I took control of the controller and started moving the character, I noticed it immediately. I was really impressed with how tight the controls felt, how well the character moved. I mean, they struck the perfect balance between having a heavy, really human feeling character, yet it controls kind of like a fantasy game. And that's really what they needed to do. They needed to mix that balance of you're controlling an actual weighted person with the feeling of fantasy, like, the lightness and tight controls of something like Jak and Daxter, mixed with Uncharted. And that's exactly what they did. It plays like a fucking dream. The controls are super tight. I like the rolling, the cover system. It's all good. The new rope swing mechanic is absolutely awesome. It's so much fun. It adds so much to the game. So the core gameplay is absolutely top tier. Now, as far as Mystics, Mystics was, again, something I was very skeptical of, but it turns out they add a lot to the gameplay. They're not cheap. They're not spammed, because obviously you have to use in-game money that you earn to buy Mystics and Sidekicks. The Mystics in the beta are El Dorado, which shoots out those homing little fireball things. The Djinn, which is it's kind of like an Infamous type thing where you teleport around, or dash, I should say, more dash around. There's the Staff, which puts enemies on the radar. That one isn't used too much. It's not terribly useful. There's the one, like the grenade, that slows down time when you're caught inside the radius. You move extremely slow. And there's my favorite, the Chintamani Stone, which is, again, an area of effect, and it heals any of your downed teammates. All of these mysticals are really well balanced, and they really cancel each other out in the heat of the battle, which is the whole point of them. Not one is stronger than the other, and they're unique enough to where it's really fun to incorporate them into your classes. Like for myself, I really enjoyed the healing class, so the Chintamani Stone is, really perfect for that. If you're maybe an assault class or something like that, you love rushing in, you're going to probably want to use the Djinn and, dash in, combine the Djinn with a grenade as your equipment. So the Mystics add a lot of depth to class creating. Same goes for the Sidekicks. For the Sidekicks, you have the Snipers, you have the Hunters, which track down and latch on to enemy players. You have the Heavy Gunner, which just has a Gatling gun and mows down the opposing team. And then you have, again, my favorite, which is the medic sidekick. Now the medic sidekick heals you if you're down and also gives you health, or not health, ammo periodically throughout the game. So again, the sidekicks also really well balanced. The heavy machine gunners, for example, people were complaining about them at first because they seemed OP, but you shoot them in the head a couple times, they're done. You know what I'm saying? So they all have their weaknesses, they all have their pros and cons, and again, they lend themselves really well to building classes around them, and that's really fun. And again, it's another aspect that keeps the game fresh. I'm trying to think of what else is new. So, I mean, you have, as far as equipment, there are different types of grenades. You have your standard frag grenade, healing grenade, which is what I use. The healing grenade, actually, if you throw it on top of a downed teammate, he'll start reviving. I think there's also a smoke grenade, which I've never used. So there's different types of grenades. There's different perks too, that you pretty standard fare. Just a whole list of perks that give you all kinds of different benefits. That's nothing new, and that's been in games forever. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. The radar, I was skeptical at first, but the radar is kind of a non-factor, to be honest. I don't really use it that much. I don't think anyone uses it too much. You just appear on it when you're shooting. The down mechanic, downing enemies, is actually pretty good. It really promotes teamwork, the downing mechanic, and I really enjoy that. It makes it so that if you're coordinating well with your team, you're gonna freaking dominate. You are gonna freaking dominate because of this down mechanic if you're coordinating with your teams, because you can keep your team alive. The way you actually get points is by finishing off downed enemies, not downing enemies. So if you're really using good teamwork and you're being a team player and you're focusing on winning the match, you're gonna win because of the down mechanic. Yeah, I mean, it's just so many fun things about this beta. I'm really pleasantly surprised. I had my doubts coming into it, but no more. It is a awesome multiplayer, and I'm sad it has to end today, man. It's been the thing I've been playing the most right now. It's just been so much fun. I played a couple rounds with some YouTubers. That was a lot of fun. Played a couple other matches with a couple other buddies of mine. So just awesome multiplayer. I cannot wait. It's going to be an agonizing 3 months waiting for Uncharted 4, both the multiplayer and the single player, which is looking like it's going to shape up to be a masterpiece if Naughty Dog is continuing their trend of incredible games after The Last of Us. I can really see the single player being astoundingly good. Hopefully it is. So that's all I gotta say, man. I hope you've all had a chance to play the Uncharted 4 multiplayer beta. It's an awesome time. It is a great fun game, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna go try to get a couple more rounds in before this awesome multiplayer is no more for 3 months. So see you later, guys.